Hi, my name is C-Ray with Factor, and I want to talk about a few different ways that AE firms project revenue. Now, none of these is the right or wrong way. The best thing to do is to actually be able to project in multiple ways based on the information that you have available and be able to see comparisons of these different projections to make decisions about where you might need to course correct or make improvement in your business. Now, the first way to project revenue is simply based on staff. If you are a professional services firm, and if you're an architecture or engineering firm, you likely are. That means you bill for your team's time. You have billing rates for each of your team members, and those may vary a little bit from project to project or client to client, or maybe what role they play on projects. But you can look at the total number of hours that somebody is likely to bill to clients in a month and come up with a monthly earning potential. This is one way to project. Now, it makes some assumptions like that you'll have enough work and that people will hit those billable targets and maybe even exceed them, but it at least gives you one baseline for what you can project in terms of revenue coming into your firm. And depending on the number of working days in a month, that may vary a little bit. And again, it makes some assumptions, but it's one level baseline for what you could expect to bring in terms of revenue. The second is based on your backlog of work. This can break down into a few subcategories, but essentially it's looking at the amount of signed work that you have and then comparing that to the earning potential to project out how far in advance you can hit your earning potential, assuming that everybody works to their billing percentages and they are working through that signed work. Now, you can break this down further by adding in the complexity of your opportunities, and you can also fine-tune this a little bit by looking at your project schedules. So if there are certain billing milestones, this could affect that earning potential because even if you have the availability, you might not be able to invoice the client when the work is actually done. And in some cases, comparing the two, your earning potential to the signed work and the amount that you could invoice according to the timeline of your projects, you might find a discrepancy that indicates you're either short-staffed to do the amount of work that you've signed and could bill for in a month, or the opposite may be true. You may have too much staff, and while you have a lot of signed work, unfortunately not all of that work is going to occur from a timeline perspective when you need it to in order to hit your earning potential. A third way to project revenue is one that you fine-tune even further by actually scheduling your team's time. So by taking the information that we have before, that is people's capacity for earning and their potential if they're hitting their billable targets, and the timelines and the remaining budget in your projects and your likely opportunities, you can then create schedules that give people an expectation of how many hours they should spend on different projects, project it as far out as you possibly can, and create an execution plan that hopes to maximize your earning potential and still get work done on time and on budget for your clients. Ultimately, being able to see all three of these in a system where you're tracking your earning potential and what you need to hit, and also tracks all of your projects and timelines and when you're likely to bill them, and allows you to compare what you've actually scheduled on your resource plan, is the best way to understand where you can make changes to that execution plan to make sure you bring in all the revenue you're projected to. It goes without saying, Factor is an application that lets you do that. And if you'd like to learn more about Factor, you can go to factorapp.com and sign up for a free 30-day trial and play with some test projects or add your own. You can also sign up for a live demo of the software by requesting one, and we'd be happy to show you around the system and talk about how your projects could be forecasted and executed more effectively.